Welcome to Storey Recap. Today, we're going to recap an interesting alien survival thriller film. The film begins with an intriguing and mysterious sequence in space. Suddenly, a large alien spacecraft appears, gliding through the cosmos. The spacecraft ejects a smaller object which hurtles towards Earth, glowing as it enters the planet's atmosphere. Then, in a more terrestrial setting, where a military helicopter flies over a lush, dense jungle in the early morning light. Inside the helicopter, the film introduces its protagonist, Dutch, who exudes confidence and authority. The helicopter lands at a coastal military base, where Dutch steps out and is greeted by the organized chaos of military operations. Dutch meets General Phillips. Their exchange of pleasantries hints at a long-standing professional relationship, suggesting that Dutch is a trusted and respected figure within the military. Dillon surprises Dutch with a friendly arm wrestle, revealing their shared past and camaraderie. This moment of levity and physical competition not only establishes their bond, but also sets off the bicep handshake meme phenomenon. The narrative then moves a map of the fictional Latin American country. Valverde, General explains the mission. A high-ranking cabinet minister have been kidnapped by a rebel group operating in the area. The captives were last seen traveling by helicopter before disappearing into the dense jungle. Dillon emphasizes the urgency of the mission, stressing that the captives must be rescued before the rebels can interrogate them. However, Dutch expresses his reluctance, noting that his team typically undertakes rescue missions. Dillon insists on the mission's critical nature. General Phillips attempts to assuage Dutch's concerns by assuring him that this is a straightforward rescue operation and emphasizing the need for his team's unique skills. Despite his suspicions, Dutch agrees to take on the mission, driven by a sense of duty and loyalty to his men. The preparation for the mission includes brief but revealing interactions with each member of Dutch's team as Mac, Blaine, Billy, Poncho, and Hawkins are introduced. The team will start boarding the helicopter that will take them to their insertion point. The mood is a mix of camaraderie, professionalism, and underlying tension as they prepare to venture into the jungle. Dutch and his elite commando team are being dropped into the jungle by helicopter. As the team disembarks, the jungle is depicted not merely as a setting, but as a living, breathing entity that envelops the characters, amplifying their sense of vulnerability. This environment is vastly different from the controlled and structured military base. The narrative then shifts focus to the team's journey towards the rebel camp. As they hike through the jungle, Billy, the tracker, takes the lead, his keen senses and deep connection to nature guiding the team through the dense foliage. The team discovers the wreckage of the downed helicopter. Billy's tracking skills are showcased as he carefully examines the site, determining that the rebels took the cabinet minister, but that another group of men, likely American soldiers, also passed through. This discovery introduces an element of mystery and raises the tension, as the presence of another group hints at complications and unknown threats. As the team moves deeper into the jungle, they come across a more disturbing sight. Billy, sensing something amiss, discovers the bodies of 3 men who have been flayed and hung upside down. The bodies, stripped of their humanity, suggest the presence of a brutal and inhuman force within the jungle. The reaction of Mac finding dog tags among the entrails, and Dutch recognizing the name Jim Hopper, a Green Beret, adds a personal dimension to the horror. Dillon denies any knowledge of another team in the area, adding to the tension and mistrust among the characters. This moment not only foreshadows Dillon's hidden agenda, but also underscores the isolation and peril the team faces. As they near the camp, the team halts to assess the situation. From their vantage point, they observe the rebels and gather intelligence on the camp's layout and the number of hostiles. The tensions heighten as the team prepares for an all-out assault. Billy uses his keen observational skills to provide crucial information about the camp's defenses and the behavior of the rebels. Dutch signals the attack by setting off an explosion, creating chaos and confusion among the rebels. The team moves in with surgical precision, executing their plan with a combination of brute force and tactical acumen. Each team member's skills are on full display. Mac provides heavy firepower, Blaine uses his formidable minigun to mow down enemies, and Poncho and Hawkins execute flanking maneuvers to eliminate threats from different angles. The rebel camp is systematically dismantled as Dutch and his team unleash a devastating barrage of gunfire and explosives. The rebels, caught off guard and outmatched, are quickly overwhelmed. The commando team's dominance in this scenario underscores their elite status and sets a high bar for the challenges they will face later. Amidst the destruction, Dutch discovers a lone, terrified woman named Anna hiding in the camp. Dutch decides to take Anna with them, hoping she might provide valuable information about the rebels and the whereabouts of the kidnapped official. Her fear and reluctance suggest that she might know more about the situation than she initially reveals. The aftermath of the assault leads to a crucial confrontation between Dutch and Dillon. Dutch, realizing that there are no hostages in the camp, accuses Dillon of deception. Dillon confesses that the mission was a setup designed to use Dutch's team to eliminate the rebel threat under the guise of a rescue operation. Dutch reveals his disdain for being used as a pawn in a larger political game. As the team prepares to retreat, the tone of the film shifts again. The jungle, which was initially a backdrop for the military operation, becomes a foreboding and ominous presence. The team senses that they are being watched and followed, though they cannot identify by whom or what. The predator, using thermal vision to track their movements, remains an unseen threat. Hawkins pursues Anna after she tries to escape, but as he catches up with her, an unseen assailant strikes. The predator, using its advanced cloaking technology, becomes a nearly invisible, distorted figure that rushes out of the jungle, brutally killing Hawkins and leaving Anna covered in his blood. The team quickly realizes they are dealing with something far more dangerous than human rebels. As Blaine patrols the perimeter, he is struck by a series of laser-like energy blasts that blow out his chest, killing him instantly. Mac, Blaine's closest friend, rushes to his side, only to see the creature's shimmering outline with glowing green eyes before it disappears into the jungle. Enraged and grief-stricken, Mac grabs Blaine's minigun and unleashes a relentless barrage of gunfire into the jungle, with the rest of the team joining in. This scene is a cacophony of gunfire and destruction. Yet when the dust settles, it becomes clear that their efforts were in vain. In the aftermath, Dutch inspects Blaine's wounds, noting the absence of shrapnel or gunpowder burns, indicating that their enemy possesses unknown and advanced weaponry. This revelation adds to the mounting fear and confusion. Mac, still in shock from Blaine's death, is unable to clearly describe what he saw, but Anna finds a clue. A green, glowing fluid on a leaf, presumably the predator's blood. This discovery confirms that the creature can be wounded, giving the team a sliver of hope amidst their terror, with Dutch saying the famous line, "If it bleeds, then we can kill it." The predator, now partially revealed, is shown tending to its wound in another part of the jungle. The creature's high-tech cloaking device, which bends light to create the illusion of invisibility, is malfunctioning due to the injury, and it deactivates it temporarily. As night falls, the team becomes increasingly paranoid, reacting to every sound and movement in the oppressive darkness of the jungle. Dutch, understanding that their unseen enemy is systematically hunting them, devises a plan to turn the tables. During this tense period, Anna shares a local legend with the team. She speaks of a demon that had stalked her village in times of extremely hot weather, eliminating men and taking their body parts. The team's disbelief and skepticism are gradually eroded by their own experiences, aligning their understanding with Anna's folklore. The following day, Dutch and Dillon set a trap, using Dutch as live bait. As Dutch walks into the clearing among the tripwires, the trap goes off and the net ensnares something. Laser blasts shoot from the net, hitting the trap's anchoring tree trunk, which swings into Poncho, severely injuring him. The predator, now partially visible due to the trap's disruption, escapes into the jungle. Mac, driven by a desire for revenge, takes off after the creature, disobeying Dutch's orders to stay with the team. Dillon, seeing the creature's distortion, follows Mac, leaving Dutch and the others to fend for themselves. In the jungle, Mac and Dillon attempt to corner the predator. Mac spots the creature in a tree stand and signals Dillon. As they carefully approach, Mac is suddenly eliminated by the predator's laser weapon. Dillon, finding Mac's body, is attacked next. Despite losing an arm to the predator's blast, Dillon tries to fight back, but is ultimately overpowered and impaled on the creature's double blade. Meanwhile, Dutch, Anna, Poncho, and Billy continue towards the extraction point. Billy, sensing the predator's presence, makes a stand on a large tree trunk bridge. He discards his rifle and faces the predator with only his machete, but his bravery is futile. He is quickly eliminated. As Dutch, Anna, and Poncho move on, Poncho is fatally shot by a laser blast. Anna, in a state of shock, picks up a gun, but Dutch kicks it away, understanding that the predator only hunts the ones with weapons. Another laser blast destroys Dutch's rifle, and he yells for Anna to run to the helicopter. Dutch himself is forced to retreat, sliding down a hill and ending up in a river, exhausted and weaponless. Dutch crawls onto the muddy bank of a river after narrowly escaping the predator's pursuit. As he tries to catch his breath, he hears the sound of something large splashing into the water behind him. He quickly realizes that the predator is closing in, covered in mud. Dutch remains motionless, hoping to hide from the predator. The predator, now fully revealed as a large, humanoid alien, emerges from the water. Its cloaking device, previously malfunctioning, flickers and deactivates completely due to the water exposure. The alien stands tall and menacing, scanning the surroundings with its advanced thermal vision. The mud covering Dutch's body effectively masks his heat signature, rendering him invisible to the predator's sensors. The predator methodically scans the area, its gaze passing right over Dutch without detecting him. It aims its shoulder-mounted cannon, which tracks targets using a 3-beamed laser scope and fires at a small rodent scurrying nearby. The blast obliterates the rodent. Despite its advanced technology, the predator fails to notice Dutch, who watches silently from his concealed position. Realizing that he has a brief window of opportunity, Dutch uses the cover of darkness and the jungle's natural camouflage to retreat further into the forest. He moves quietly and deliberately, using his survival skills to avoid detection. Dutch navigates through the dense jungle, using his knowledge of the terrain to stay one step ahead of the predator. He devises a plan to turn the tables on the alien hunter. Using the environment to his advantage, Dutch gathers materials to set a series of traps. He constructs a garroting trap with spikes, prepares a makeshift bow and arrows using gunpowder from spare grenades, and fashions spears from the jungle's natural resources. He also covers himself in mud again to further mask his heat signature. The confrontation begins with Dutch lighting a large bonfire and emitting a primitive yell, a deliberate act designed to lure the predator into his trap. The predator, intrigued by the challenge, approaches with caution. Its advanced cloaking device is now fully deactivated, revealing the alien's formidable presence. He uses the fire as both a signal and a psychological tactic, aiming to provoke the predator into making a mistake. This moment of revelation shifts the balance of power, and the hunter becomes hunted. Due to the surrounding fire all around predators, vision is impaired, and now it can't see Dutch same way how Dutch wasn't able to see it in the beginning of the film. Despite the advantage, Dutch's arsenal of weapons is rapidly dwindling. Dutch accidentally falling into the pond, washes off his mud, and the predator captures him and drags him into a corner. The predator removes its helmet, revealing its fugly face. Dutch, though physically outmatched, uses his environment to his advantage. He has strategically set up a spiked trap designed to ensnare the predator. As it approaches, Dutch uses his cunning to lure it into the trap. The predator, initially unaware of the danger, walks directly under the traps and recognizes the trap. It changes the course and starts approaching Dutch from a different angle. Little did the predator knew of another trap set by Dutch. As it reaches under the counterweight, Dutch, in a desperate final act of defiance, kicks away the trigger, causing the counterweight to drop and crush the predator. In the aftermath of the trap, Dutch approaches the fallen predator with a large rock, ready to finish it off. However, upon seeing the alien wounded and near death, Dutch refrains from it and acknowledges the unbeatable ugliness of the predator. The predator, despite its advanced technology and combat prowess, is rendered vulnerable and humanized in its final moments. The creature, showing a glimmer of understanding, activates a timer on its gauntlet, signaling Dutch to flee. The predator's final act is a display of honor and acknowledgement of Dutch's skill as a worthy opponent. As Dutch escapes, a small nuclear explosion detonates, signifying the predator's final act of defiance and ensuring that no trace of its presence remains. The explosion is both a dramatic end to the confrontation and a symbolic gesture of the predator's commitment to its code of honor. In the aftermath, General Phillips and Anna witness the devastation from a nearby helicopter, seeing Dutch emerge from the smoldering remains of the jungle. The scene closes with Dutch looking physically exhausted but triumphant, having survived a confrontation that tested every ounce of his strength, skill, and resilience. And that's a wrap on today's recap. If you enjoyed this cinematic adventure, don't forget to hit that like button harder than a plot twist in a soap opera. For more epic breakdowns and the occasional bad joke, make sure to subscribe to Storey Recap and ring that bell so you never miss out. Got a movie you want us to recap or a funny comment to share? Drop it below. Catch you on the dark side of the moon.